Hello, everyone, and welcome to February the 3rd regular legislative meeting of the town of Vegreville. I call this meeting to order at 3:01. Everybody's in attendance? Okay. I will look for a motion to adopt the agenda. Councillor Rawawa makes that motion. Is there any additions or deletions to the agenda? Seeing none, all those in favor? Carried. Up next, I'll need a motion to adopt the minutes of our last regular legislative meeting. Thank you, Councillor Curtis. Any errors or omissions within the minutes? Seeing none, all those in favor? Carried. We have no delegations today, so we're going to move right into managers' reports. So first up, Community Engagement, Economic Development Manager, Jameson Brown. Take it away, sir.
Thank you very much, Your Worship. We're going to start in terms of this quarterly progress report with the enhanced advertising and marketing. So this is indeed a budgeted expense. It is on track, and the estimated budget for 2026 for this initiative was $75,000. To date, a comprehensive site inventory assessment of ChooseVegreville.com is currently underway, and that includes a full review and update of the site selector dashboards using the most current data available through third-party provider local intel. In addition, work is ongoing with Innotech to develop a dedicated feature page on ChooseVegreville.com. This is aimed at leveraging industry investment by highlighting research and development opportunities available at the Vegreville facility. As well, EIA or Edmonton International Airport adjacent billboard remains in place. We will be reevaluating at the end of Q1 as to whether or not we'll continue with that. And in terms of next step for this initiative, Vegreville is going to be featured in the May 2026 edition of the Canada Magazine with an approximate distribution of 100,000 readers across the Greater Toronto area. This feature will be supported by a 2-week shared billboard placement along the Gardiner Expressway in Toronto, as well as a 3-week digital advertising campaign targeting business and industry stakeholders in that region. Total cost of the May campaign is estimated at approximately $5,000, but again, that goes into that $75,000 for this entire enhanced advertising marketing campaign. Are there any questions?
Yeah, we'll start with Councillor Rudick.
Great to see that some of the advertising initiatives are going to carry on, as we've discussed. I'm just curious, for this new advertising campaign, do you keep those hits separate so you can do a way of being able to keep track of where our touch points on our website are kept? Where they're derived from?
Yes, absolutely. Anytime we're in the midst of a digital campaign or a print campaign, we're keeping a very close eye on our analytics to determine exactly where those hits are coming from and how many have been generated throughout the campaign. Not to get too deep into the weeds, but the world can be kind of a creepy place when you can exactly pinpoint where some of these people are checking out our websites from. But that's the nature of advertising and analytics, but we are certainly doing deep dives every time we do a campaign to see what kind of dividends, if any. But I'm expecting quite a bit because the last digital campaign we had that focused on that neck of the woods did draw quite a bit of interest in terms of people checking out our website.
Okay, why did we choose the Greater Toronto area, we're going to be trying to reach out to people in that area, businesses, that maybe that this would be a good place for them to come? Is that what?
Yeah, correct. At the end of the day, there's no denying that there's a lot of big decisions in this country are made in that neck of the woods in terms of investment attraction. But that's just one piece of the puzzle. Anybody who's done any reading, or maybe you've got family in that neck of the woods like I do, affordability is a huge factor there. And what we've seen locally, not just here in Vegreville, but across Alberta, is that there is still an interest in the ability to own a home, something that is not quite a reality for those who are living in that neck of the woods. So our intent is to continue to bang the drum that Alberta, but specifically Vegreville, is an affordable opportunity, whether you're planning on moving here for housing purposes or to start a business. Something tells me that when people see 50,000 per serviced acre in that neck of the woods, they probably tilt their head quite a bit based on what they're currently paying in terms of prices.
Any other questions on that advertising? Okay, carry on.
Thank you. Next would be the wayfinding signage. And again, this is budgeted, and it is coming off of last year's edition of the wayfinding signage throughout the community. The total budget for this initiative is $125,000. Progress update, we've had preliminary conversations with High Signs out of Edmonton. They were the installers, the designers of the signage that is already around our community. That took place in the fall, and this would be for phase 2. We've talked about budgeting areas of focus, and the next steps are just continued dialogue with High Signs in the hopes of having phase 2 signage installed by late spring, early summer. Any questions?
We'll start with Councillor Rudick.
These are a very visible sign, literally, of some of the decisions that we've made in terms of investing in changing some of our wayfinding in the community. Can you just explain again what phase 2 would include in terms of location and content?
Sure. So the content would remain relatively unchanged. I mean, when we're talking about wayfinding signage, obviously, one of the big things for us was to really highlight what assets are kind of off the beaten path in our community. For instance, our arena, our aquatic facilities, so on and so forth, the soccer park, King Canada Park. And the area focus for phase 2 is we focused on Highway 16A in phase 1. Phase 2 will include the north-south arteries coming into town, so Bruce Road as well as Maple Street, to ensure that we're doing our very, very best to maximize the impact of those signage, specifically targeting, those visitors that are coming in from whether it's north, south, east, or west, to let people know, hey, we've got a lot to offer in this town, and whether you're coming through just to visit the Big Egg or whatever have you, don't forget we also have this, and this.
Okay, good. Yeah, I've had a lot of compliments and a lot of people discussing about the new signs and stuff, and I think everybody likes the fact that how uniform they are, how everything looks the same. And once we get to phase 3, where we get right at the facility itself and the signs that are going to be there, that it's all going to tie in. So, okay. Any other questions for Manager Brown? Okay. Well, I guess we can move into some of your policies.
Yeah, I apologize. I didn't plan for it to be the Jameson show, so please bear with me. We're going to start with the communications policy or platforms policy. And this is being proposed by the Community Engagement and Economic Development Department. The background on this matter is the Town of Vegreville GOV 1006 social media policy and GOV 1010 mobile application policy were scheduled for review. Upon review, our department decided to merge these two policies into one to improve staff and public access, reduce confusion, and increase transparency for stakeholders. The merged policy also provides updated information regarding the use of our websites, vegreville.com and choosevegreville.com. Following the transition, our mobile application is no longer available through the website. However, the Town of Vegreville's mass notification system remains in operations. References to social media have been updated to digital platforms to encompass all digital communication channels managed by our department, including but not limited to social media accounts, websites, and mass notifications. This policy is scheduled for review every 3 years in alignment with other town policies. Additional updates in the draft digital communication platforms policy include clarifying departmental responsibilities regarding the information that needs to be updated and posted on the website, emphasizing that the website is the primary source of information for staff and the public rather than social media. This ensures stakeholders receive timely and accurate information, as social media delivery is, of course, subject to algorithm-based delays. clarifying for internal and external organizations that the Town of Vegreville website is intended solely for municipal information, while also providing the option to promote events on the community calendar at no cost, as well as including definitions for the following terms: digital platform, mass notification, and website. Should Council approve the adoption of draft GOV 1006 Digital Communications Policy, the current GOV 1010 Mobile Application Policy will be rescinded. There are no financial implications for implementing this policy, and the communication strategy would be that the public engagement process level 1, and upon approval of the updated policy, it would be shared on the Town of Vegreville's website, as well as managers would be responsible for communicating the updated policy to departmental employees. Your options today are that Town Council accept the proposed GOV 1006 Digital Communications Policy and approve the policy at the next council meeting, or that Town Council review the policy further and discuss proposed policy at the next Legislative Committee meeting set for February 17th before approving the policy.
Okay, thank you. So has everybody had a chance to look at the policy itself and go through it? Is there any questions or changes that anybody wants to recommend or something they want to clarify? Well, it's pretty basic and it lays everything out pretty good, I thought. So, I mean, if there's no objection, this will come to our next council meeting for a motion. Looks like you did okay there.
With your permission to move on to the next one?
Certainly do.
Okay. So this one is in regards to draft GOV 1008, the Business and Community Recognition Policy. And of course, it is being proposed by the Community Engagement and Economic Development Department. The background is that the Town of Vegreville's GOV 1008 Business and Community Recognition Policy was scheduled for review. Upon review, our department decided to merge the Business and Community Recognition Policy and the Proclamation Policy into a single policy to improve access for staff and the public, reduce confusion, and increase transparency for stakeholders. The policy was updated to require that business or groups submit their own requests for achievements, milestones, or proclamation acknowledgments. This approach ensures that significant achievements are recognized in a consistent and equitable manner while reducing the risk of oversight. This process also respects the autonomy of organizations to highlight what is most meaningful to them while allowing the town to respond appropriately and efficiently. The Seed Department will contact new businesses and, together with members of Town Council, present them with the new business package and welcome them to the community. Moving from a traditional plaque to a comprehensive package adds greater value for both the business and the community. The package includes practical resources such as guidance on economic programs, community contacts, and promotional opportunities. It also features a social media and website to welcome, to raise awareness and offer free advertising. This approach supports business success and helps them become fully integrated into the community. In addition to the changes within the policy, an online form will be added to the Town of Vegreville website for request submissions. Should Council approve the adoption of the proposed GOV 1008 Business and Community Recognition Policy, the current GOV 1009 Proclamation Policy will be rescinded. Communication strategy, public engagement process level 1. Upon approval, the updated policy will be shared on the Town of Vegreville website. Managers will be responsible for communicating the updated policy to the department employees. And the options in front of you today: the Town Council may accept the proposed GOV 1008 Business and Community Recognition Policy and approve the policy at the next council meeting, or the Town Council may review the policy further and discuss proposed policy at the next Legislative Committee meeting to be held on February 17th before approving the policy.
Okay, thank you. So, anybody want to bring up anything that's within the policy or why the changes are being made? I think as this policy gets advertised, we were trying to, on our own, recognize some businesses that were 50 years and 75 years and 10 years, and we were doing not a very good job at it because, you know, a lot of employees that were long-term employees that retired and or moved on. So getting this information out on our website and on our social media, that if you have you know, an upcoming anniversary or you want to be recognized, that you can get it to us and we'll definitely act upon it. When it comes to the proclamations, that's a little different and about how we're going to determine which proclamations we're going to support. And in the end, it's going to be a decision of council, correct?
That's correct, Your Worship. It's always essentially been the decision of council whether or not they would like to endorse the request. One of the things that's now written into the policy is what we've seen with proclamations is that every group across Canada and across North America now sends an email saying, hey, it's so-and-so appreciation day or this and that. And it gets to the point where there isn't, not to say that that group or organization on the national or international scale isn't represented within the community, but there doesn't appear to be much local tie-in, and this is just working as essentially an advertising campaign for them. That's one thing that we wanted to avoid, that people who are putting a policy forward, there's a local interest here, and the interest in having this proclamation come forward has been expressed at a local level. So that's certainly something that we've written into this policy.
Yeah, just for instance, like since I've been in this position as mayor, I seem to get a lot of requests out of Tibet, like personally, and I've never brought them to council and regarding the status of Tibet and the Dalai Lama and all these weird things that really don't have a lot to do with our community, and they're looking for some political leg up or support, but some of the requests, I don't know how many of them come to your department, but I get some stuff that I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. This doesn't represent anything in our country. So the biggest change in the policy today is that we're not trying to remember everybody's anniversary date but we're willing to celebrate it with the businesses and nonprofits and stuff, but we need to be made aware of it. I think that captures a lot of what we're trying to do here because, we don't want to miss any important anniversaries or dates or anything like that. So I think once the community and the business community and the nonprofits are educated in what our new process is, I think it'll go over. So everybody's read the policy and nobody sees a problem with this one coming to our next council meeting. There's no changes or things they want to bring forward. Okay, perfect. Great job, Jameson. You got through that.
Thank you, Your Worship.
Okay, so next up, CAO Ling.
Thank you, Your Worship. This next item on the agenda is a letter from the Sunshine Club, and it's addressed to Mayor and members of Council. And it's a request for a waiver of disposal and shredding fees. It reads, Dear Mayor and Council, I am writing on behalf of the Senior Citizens Sunshine Club of Vegreville, a nonprofit organization serving older adults in our community. As part of our ongoing facility upkeep and administrative responsibilities, we are facing several disposal-related costs that place a strain on our limited budget. We respectfully request Council's consideration in waiving the fees for the following items and services. Disposal of fluorescent tubes being removed as we replace old bulbs and prepare to upgrade to safer energy-efficient LED lighting. Disposal of used toner cartridges from our office equipment. And shredding services required for confidential documents generated through our programs and operations. These supports would allow us to maintain a safe, efficient, and compliant facility without diverting funds away from valuable programs and activities for local seniors and the broader community. Thank you for considering our request and your continued commitment to our community well-being. Sincerely, Carol McKella, Treasurer of the Senior Sunshine Club of Vegreville.
Okay, so do we have any pre-existing agreements like this with the nonprofits?
We did do an agreement for fluorescent bulbs. It was either the daycare or the preschool. It was the preschool. And they did theirs over a period of 2 years. They got the funding to do a half of their lights, and then the following year they got the funding to do the other half of their lights, and council waived the fees for the fluorescent bulbs.
Okay, so we do have a bit of a precedent here. Any comments or any questions? Go ahead, Councillor Riddick.
So I think the precedent might be something that we definitely want to be aware of. But I think it's also material to understand the cost. So short of going into the fees and charges bylaw, it'd be useful to be able to know what is represented there in terms of the volume of shredding, for example, for each of us that have business, or for example, the shredding costs, and our facility is very convenient and inexpensive, but I guess it would be helpful to know what kind of consideration we have, understanding, of course, that the Sunshine Club, like other nonprofits, has a limited budget. So do you have an idea of what kind of waiving we would be looking at here?
At this point, the letter is all we've received.
It's hard to imagine there'd be a lot of confidential documents coming out of the Sunshine Club. I mean, they're not bringing a whole bunch of bulk shredding, hopefully. They have one printer. So, do we want a little bit more information about how much, what they're looking at? I mean, can we see a bit of what they spent in the last 3 years, maybe? And then we could maybe take a look at that. And I know that at the preschool, it had a start date and an end date to the offer that we put out there in front of them. And so, and again, even at the time, even at that, our ball beater was getting beyond its years, and we were just getting ready to replace it too, and they're not a cheap purchase. So if we could maybe have just a little bit of history information, they probably have it. Their bookkeeper probably knows what they've spent in the last couple of years, and we could then have a conversation after that. If everybody's good with that? Go ahead, Councillor Rudy.
I think the other part of the conversation that would be helpful for me too is to have a sense from VMRF what kind of volume of product is brought in by other nonprofits, because we, to be fair, haven't had a lot of other requests like this. Like the printer ink recycling fee is one that we just pass on, that comes from the company itself. We collect them, but I'm not certain that it's particularly onerous, but might be helpful to be able to hear back if there's any other staff conversation or anecdotal provision of information there, because that would be helpful to be able to flesh this out, because we want to make sure that we're careful about what we're considering.
We definitely need to be very careful. Director Lefebvre, when it comes to recycling the printing materials from the photocopiers, do we collect all that money back?
We collect them. Some of them, there's a fee to ship them out for recycling, and there's some that they're responsible for their own products that they make. So the fees associated are to help us dispose of them, and they're $1.25 for a small cartridge, $2.50 for a medium, and $3.50 for a large. And again, I don't think that this group is going through a lot of cartridges, I wouldn't think. And the fluorescent bulbs are $1.25 per tube with the new rates, and confidential paper shred, just so you know, is $1.25 per kg. It's about 45 cents a pound. So.
Okay, well, we'll just try to get a little history, CAO Ling, if you can, about, they can just pull what their costs were in the last 3 years, and again, what we do for one, we need to do for all. So. Okay, everybody's good with that? We'll move on to the next letter from,
Okay, thank you, Your Worship. This is a letter from Harry Kishik, a resident in town, and it says, to who it may concern. I want to know why the dog tags are so expensive in Vegreville. I compared different places. Edmonton is $37, seniors $22, Camrose, lifetime $62.50, or $20 per year. Mundaris $15, Tofield $30, seniors are $20, Two Hills $10 or $5 for senior. Lamont is $120 lifetime. Seniors should get discounts. Other towns and cities have senior discount. The regular rate is high compared to other places. Please reply to me before February 14th, 2026. Harry Kishik.
Okay. Well, anybody want to make a comment? Go ahead, Councillor Rajak.
Now we've received the prices for the various communities. What do we charge for a dog license, a dog tag?
We have two different
the first
dog licenses. We have an unaltered license at $92, and that is for animals that aren't spayed or neutered. And then we have an altered license, which is $51.75.
Okay, thank you.
And we have done a comparison through quite a few communities. A lot of communities are, well, we are the highest.
We are the highest.
We are the highest, but on the other side of that, I ran out of time and I did not bring the folder with me, but I was comparing the amount of dog calls that municipal enforcement goes on. Because right now, the fee that we collect for our dog tags is part of the grant that council puts over to Prairie Tales to run the shelter. But I was also looking at how many dog calls we went on last year, whether it's either a dog at large or it's a dog attack or things like that. And I'm gonna go by my memory, but I think it's around 86 calls within the year that we have had to actually physically deal with the dog. So it is something to consider as well.
Okay. Well, any comments? Oh, Councillor Jagala, go ahead.
Thank you. I can certainly empathize. I think, thank you to the writer for bringing it to our attention that other municipalities offer a senior discount. I don't know if that's something that we have previously discussed. Obviously, we didn't at this last review of our fees and charges schedule. But I think dog licensing is, it's changing in different municipalities. I've noticed recently that a few have actually removed their dog licensing bylaw and shifted to increasing their fees for the call-outs that bylaw is having to make. So perhaps that's something too that we could ask more information on, how those other municipalities are changing the way that they go about things. I understand, as CEO Ling mentioned already, that those fees that we collect for dog licensing helps us to provide financial support to our animal rescue in town. But perhaps we can look at shifting that a little bit. The people whose dogs are constantly getting out, that bylaw is having to go after, do we charge them a fee to collect their animal from Prairie Tales currently? And is that something that maybe that needs to be increased to kind of offset that? I don't know. Maybe we can get more information on that.
I do know there is some enforcement fines in the responsible pet ownership bylaw. But again, I apologize, I just ran out of time to do a deep dive on this.
Okay, Councillor Rudy.
So maybe I might recommend we refer this back to admin to be able to find some more information, because I think as time has marched on, like some of the direction of the fees collected here to be able to offset the cost of running Prairie Tales is only a small touch, and Prairie Tales is doing a lot of work to be able to support the quality of life for not only for the animals that they rescue, but my point would be is that the people that are licensing their dogs are likely not the ones that are causing the hurt that makes PTARs have to do the work that they do at Prairie Tales. So I think maybe finding a better way to be able to connect, like directing the fees there seems like potentially a good direction of those fees going towards the maintenance of that facility, but also making sure that we've got the compensatory fines for the people that are perhaps having their pets running away. I guess the other tricky part here too is that taking a look at a number of the different places that have different fees, what are they collecting the fees for too? I mean, what is the intention of having the dog licensing? What are we trying to achieve by licensing the dogs?
Well, for the most part, the licensing is that if your dog does run away, we can return them to you. We know the owners of the dog and stuff like that. And not only do we pay Prairie Tales, but already this year I've had to pay out to a shelter out of town because Prairie Tales can only take one dog, maybe two, maybe three if they have enough fosters. I had a mother, a father, and 11 puppies to home a couple weeks ago. So they ended up at a shelter, an animal rescue by Riley, which also in turn costs money, so.
Well, I think sorry, go ahead, Councillor Curtis.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm in favor of looking at this for next year. I'm sure that the dog licensing fees have gone out already. There's been notices sent out.
Yes, usually
Which is
we
probably why it came.
tend to have all the the majority of the dog licenses are paid by the end of February.
Yeah, so I think that, yeah, looking at this for the next fees and charges bylaw would probably be a good idea. Yeah, I'm in favor of that.
Well, and it comes down to, you know, if you want to compare us to Edmonton or Camrose, which are cities, and they have a lot bigger population to work with. To be fair, if you can, Mundare, Toefield, Two Hills, none of these communities that we're being compared with have municipal enforcement. None of these communities have a shelter that the town and all the taxpayers are supporting. So I don't really think that's fair to look at a comparison of municipalities that don't offer the services of animal control. Bylaw officers aren't cheap, just their vehicles alone, and having that at a phone call away, plus some of these funds are going out to offset the shelter. And to compare us to other communities that don't offer these same services is not a fair comparison. And then we look at cities, well, how many more dogs do they have to offset the cost? So again, we set our price when we did based on what the knowledge that we had. I'm not against getting any more information, but I think when we're comparing services that are offered by other municipalities, Toefield, Lamont, Two Hills, Mundare, we need to play on an even playing field here. So we know what bylaw cost us a year, and we know what we're supporting the Prairie Tales animal shelter. So, you know, we need to be real when we're looking at what the numbers are and what our needs are. And we set those prices based on what our needs were. So I want everybody to be, you know, to recognize that. I mean, it's not fair if you look at our budget that these other communities don't have. They don't have this captured within their budgets. So if you guys want to get some more information from admin and bring it back to a later meeting, I'm fine with that. But I just think that everybody in this community needs to understand that we are not out of line compared to the services that we are offering. Is everybody okay with that? Go ahead, Councillor Jagalik.
Thank you. I just have one more question. I'm just looking at this Schedule D. So if my dog is licensed and it gets out and then bylaw picks it up, I don't pay a fee to get him back home, right?
I don't have the bylaw open, I'm just opening it. But yes, if it's the first offense, I think it's, that's part of the reason for paying the dog license is that we will bring back your dog to you because we know who owns it, right? The officer will contact the town office and get the owner's information, and then from there return the dog. But I'm just trying to open up the
And so
bylaw.
if my animal is licensed and he gets out and bylaw picks him up, there's a seizure fee and an impound fee.
Yes.
So I would pay the $115 seizure fee and then a per day impound fee if he wasn't licensed? Like, I'm
Yes.
just trying to figure out, so.
Yes,
To kind of give value to why you want to license your dog in the event that they get out and bylaw picks them up.
Yes, so by having a licensed dog, if the dog is picked up, it's running loose at large, they pick it up, they see that, the officer picks the dog up, sees the tag, contacts the town office, gets the owner's information, the dog is delivered right home. It skips the shelter, it skips everything. If the dog is picked up and it has no tags, then it goes to the shelter. So there can be a seizure fee that is paid to the town, and then as the officers are looking for the owners, because sometimes we have the ability to scan for microchips and look for tattoos, but then we still have to contact the vet's office to find the owners. So that seizure fee pays for that. If it has to spend the night at the shelter or a couple days at the shelter, those charges are paid directly to Prairie Tales for housing that animal, housing and feeding that animal for that time.
Okay, thank you.
You have the bylaw open. Do we have a lifetime fee?
No, we do not have a lifetime fee. It was quite a discussion regarding the lifetime fee when it was brought, when it was brought forward to council. And it was brought forward in the way you could either do a lifetime fee or you could continue to pay annually. The lifetime fee had a little bit more of a hefty charge to it. And at that time, council just decided to stay with doing the annual fee for dogs.
Okay, well, if you guys want a little more information, then we'll get some more information and bring it back. And if you want to take a look at this at next year's budget time, but I really think that we need to, when we're comparing, we need to compare the same service level that we're offering here, so. Okay. Thank you. The next one is mine. Members of council, the Vegreville Legion will be hosting the Command Legion Crib Tournament for the 2025-26 season at the Vegreville branch on February 6th and 7th. We will be hosting 18 teams from all over Alberta and the Northwest Territories. We are requesting council provide us with some Town of Vegreville branded items for 90 participants who will be receiving welcome packages containing a variety of items from local government and business groups, as well as the Legion branded items. We value our relationship with Town Council and thank you for all the support you have provided in the past. Thank you for considering this request. Your in command and comradeship, Terry Kuzik, President. What do we got? We can give away pins now that we got the real price right.
Yes, Your Worship, we can give away pins without being ultra concerned about breaking the bank. Pins would certainly be an option. In my inventory of available swag, we also have the ever popular stress eggs. But one of the reasons why this is in front of you today is just the per unit cost. We're verging on close to $650 in terms of the replacement cost for those stress eggs. It's nothing in life is going down in price as it would seem. So I think that they're a very nice keepsake, but given that they're asking for 90 and given the replacement costs, this was certainly something that council would have to make the ultimate decision on. But if council is okay with that, I can have my team put those together and be ready for this weekend.
Okay, who wants to start us up? Councillor Lemko.
Like before precedent setting, I would think we've had a lot of requests from organizations that are looking for pens, pins, eggs, and at $650 for 90 participants, we've at times had an ask for 300 participants or greater, and it's quite costly if we keep going down that road. And again, I don't begrudge the Legion for asking us. They're great support for our community and everything they do. It's just a tough call, in my opinion.
Okay. Well, how about we give them pins? Go ahead, Councillor Curtis.
Thank you very much. I am good with the pins.
Councillor Lemko.
Yes, I'm good with the pins, and maybe the winners of the crepe tournament can get some stress balls. I don't know.
You want to throw a trophy in? Go ahead, Councillor Bradier.
I'm just wondering how much our pens are worth, like our writing pens. We do have great advertising on these, and they are good pens. So what would the cost on that be?
Wow, nominal. I appreciate that you enjoy the pens, but I have to say we got a steal of a deal on those. We'd have 90, but I honestly think the replacement cost on those pens specifically that you have in your hand, maybe 10 cents per unit.
So I would make a recommendation to supply the pens as well as the pins.
Pens and pins.
Pens and pins.
Anybody against that? Make it so.
Aye, aye.
Okay. Okay, so here we got, moving on to our roundtable now. So basically, this is just what you've been hearing in the community since our last meeting. So Councillor Brojek, what have you heard?
I haven't heard too many negative comments in our community. The snow removal is going well as we progress. I just want to make a shout out to Val Sweeting for winning. I want to congratulate her. She was a former Vegreville resident and has just won the Scotties Tournament of Hearts #5 with Team Ironson. So congratulations to her. I also want to make mention of, our community will be benefiting from one additional medical health care student over the next couple of months. So RPAP is reaching out to say that they would love to, if we could provide a welcome package to this. It's a U of A student. Dr. Hollins will be the preceptor. So if we could possibly put together some kind of a welcome package for this individual, for the healthcare student. And my last mention, I want to mention that the Olympics will be starting on Friday, and we do have a little bit of a Vegreville connection there. So we have Kelsey Mitchell is from Sherwood Park. She is already has won a gold medal in the Summer Olympics for cycling. And her grandmother is a longtime Vegreville resident and still lives here, Joan Taronchuk. So I want to make mention that Kelsey is now competing in the Winter Olympics in the Team Canada ladies bobsled. So she's jumping. This is very unusual for a participant to be both Summer and Winter Olympics. So I'd like to make mention that we all cheer Kelsey on in her quest for a second or for another medal.
Yeah, it's very rare. We've seen a cyclist turn into a speed skater.
Yeah.
In the Olympics, a Canadian. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Well, good luck to them all.
So good luck to Kelsey.
Okay, Councillor Rudick.
I don't have a lot to report. I've had some questions about snow removal, positive comments about our snow removal, but the question that's been asked is about our snow removal budget, because of course City of Edmonton has really been front and center in terms of how they've struggled with meeting the need of their communities as compared to what we have as regular process, but tried to explain that we don't have a separate snow removal budget, but people are used to seeing that because they're seeing it on the news. So anyways, that's been a question that's popped up, as well as how we approach ice when it pops up. Like we've had a lot more freeze and thaw the last couple of years, I'd say the last 3 years have really given us some tough experiences with ice, freezing rain this time of year, and really unseasonably warm temperatures to try to manage with our road maintenance schedule. So that's where a lot of commentaries come from. So I don't know if you wanted to comment on that, Director Lefebvre, or we just don't have the same approach to snow removal as the city, which of course is on the news all the time and people see that.
Thank you. Yes, as you said, we don't have a specific snow removal budget. However, the challenges this year with our freeze thaw and some early snowfalls, we're still have not expanded into a lot of overtime to do the snow removal. It's our standard snow haul times. We do start early, like for this morning, for example, we were on the highway very early in the morning to get it pulled away from the sidewalks and curbs and collected and out early, but that's something we do on a regular basis. So we have no fear that we are spending a lot more money than we normally have in the last 2 years.
When it comes to the budgeting for snow removal, it's kind of funny if you looked at it over a 10-year term, 10 years. Some years are good, some years are worse. Our plan is to keep going until it's done. And with the freeze thaw, this ice has been very hard on our equipment. There's no doubt about it. We have been beating up our blowers and our graders and our infrastructure, our roads and stuff, trying to get that ice done. I did see that CN finally made an appearance in town before it started melting. And just so those people that were complaining about the tracks, we have to stay a certain distance back. We're not allowed to remove that right at the tracks. So, but they did, through Director Lefebvre's department request, they did finally come out and they cleaned up all the crossings. So, okay, Councillor Lemko.
Thank you, Your Worship. I don't have a lot. I have one item I'd like to bring up, and it's just about the Vegreville Stands with Ukraine Committee. It's been working with our Ukrainian families that have been here for and making Vegreville their home. As you're all aware, February will mark around the 24th will mark 4 years since the invasion of Ukraine from Russian forces. On February 22nd, there's a film. It's called Horizons of Belonging. It'll be held at the Alliance Church on the 22nd at 3 in the afternoon, nominal fee of $10. But it's a film that was built out of the University of Alberta Faculty of Arts. And it's a documentary that follows 4 families in 2 Canadian cities, so Calgary and Edmonton. And over the course of a year, as they worked to rebuild their lives in the aftermath of Russia's invasion, through an intimate observational lens, the film exposes what it means to lose a home, begin again, and hold on to one's sense of self in unfamiliar surroundings. The documentary brings attention to deeply human stories unfolding far from the front lines. It's an opportunity to dive in to see what these people have gone through. So I encourage people in the community to come out. There's a question and answer period after the film. The associate professor of Ukrainian culture, Alexander Pankiev, will be there, and Stephen Brees is a visual storyteller and co-founder of the London Legacy Films. So they're people from the U of A that put this documentary together, and I'm looking forward to attending and seeing the reality of being displaced into a country that is welcoming. More importantly, it's there to show the residents of Vegreville and about the work that was done in this community, bringing some of those people here that are displaced. So that's about all I got. So come on out and share some experience with this film. That's all I got.
Well, thanks for bringing up, we're coming up on the 4-year anniversary of this invasion, this unjust invasion of Ukraine. And what we've been seeing the last month is Russia has been attacking their infrastructure to try to freeze these Ukrainian people out and their transportation system, trying to starve them. And it goes against every rule of warfare. So if anybody that can make a donation to help these poor Ukrainian people over now, because they are freezing to death. They're just cutting down all their electricity and gas lines and transportation of food. It is unbelievable, and I don't know why the world waits so long, but it's not right. So, Councillor Wawa.
Thank you, Your Worship. I don't have too much to add today. I do think it was very important. I've heard a few, little complaining things. So I think the tours today definitely helped me get a better idea for when we're moving forward and processing how I can address some of those. That being said, I do just a couple things I want to point out that I thought were really great that I've seen over the last couple of weeks over the community. Councillor Jagalik mentioned there was a tournament being held at the St. Mary's. Drove by there on Saturday and it looked really busy. So it's great to see people, coming into town for these tournaments. The weekend prior, there was a U9 tournament and same thing. I was at the rink that day and it was very busy. And lastly, the one other thing I want to mention, just thank you everyone, is we hosted with the Vegreville Rangers Ben Stelzer game, and there was many people in attendance from Vegreville. We actually were able to work with the U9s and have a little mini game, which was pretty cool to see during the first period. We raised $7,000 for the Ben Stelzer Foundation that night, and I just want to say thank you to everyone from Vegreville who came out and helped be part of that that game and that fundraiser.
Okay. Thank you very much. Councillor Jagalik.
Thank you, Mayor McPhee. I have just a few things. Firstly, I had a meaningful conversation with a constituent recently regarding our level of community engagement regarding crime in and around town. The concern, as I mentioned, was basically that he felt that we could be doing more to inform community residents, business owners alike, of ongoing crime. I learned that this largely was due in part to missing the blotter, which I admittedly didn't even realize had gone away quite some time ago. I would occasionally read it, but certainly understanding that a lot of people did rely on that to kind of stay up to date with what was going on in their neighborhood. CAO Ling, thank you for informing me that the Vegreville RCMP, who does have to complete a certain level of community engagement, they were actually responsible for sending the information for the blotter that was listed in the news advertiser. When that did dissolve, essentially, it was just due in part to them not having the capacity to provide that information anymore. So in the past, they have hosted 2 community engagement open hall town sessions at the social center. Last year, there was only 1, however, in the spring due to the election in the fall. So RCMP Staff Sergeant has confirmed for us that they will be hosting another one prior to the end of March. So thank you for that. Secondly, I ran into a constituent this morning that wanted to make the suggestion to council and administration that we consider dividing the off-leash dog park. Just put a fence down the middle so large animals can go on one side, smaller breeds can go on the other. She just felt that in her experience it was too intimidating to take her smaller pets there. So I told her I would plant that seed for future consideration. Next, earlier this morning, I got positive feedback from some of the business owners that previously had reached out to Director Lefebvre's department about assisting MCON in picking up the snow on Highway 16A. So we were there this morning and they reached out to give positive feedback there. So thank you. And lastly, I just want to make mention of another community event that we can look forward to in March that I feel Vegreville is so blessed to have. The Wendy Brook Music Festival is coming up. That is taking place the second week of March. It goes from Monday to Friday, if I remember correctly. And I think it is just such a phenomenal event that the entire community can enjoy. You can also participate in it at any age. So if you've been playing an instrument your whole entire life or you're brand new, it doesn't matter. but they host people from all over the community and in our region. So they have instruments, speech arts, drama, and they have really renowned adjudicators come out. And so it's just a really great experience that I look forward to every year. And I think anyone who has some free time the second week of March should go out and watch and support them. And that's all for me. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll also bring up too that if Staff Sergeant Folk is going to be putting on another public meeting with the RCMP and the public, he has encouraged many times if there was a community watch in town. So if there's anybody out there thinking that they would like to get something started, please keep your eyes open for the dates for the public hall, or the town hall that Staff Sergeant Folk usually puts on twice a year, and he supports community watch programs. So go ahead, Councillor Jagoli.
Yeah. Sorry, I do just want to mention that CAA Lynn confirmed that Vegreville will be advertising that on our website and our social medias when that date is confirmed. And for anyone else who is missing the blotter, I did mention to this constituent that there is a website. The RCMP has a crime map, which is essentially live. I think it's updated almost in real time. So if you're missing the blotter, you can certainly hop on there, and it shows a pinpoint on a map what that report was for. And so that's a good way to stay informed too.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Curtis.
Thank you very much. Not too much from me. Heard similar things, good comments about snow removal. And as I was perusing the internet, you're generally a place for a lot of negativity and bad comments, but I did see some new residents that had come to town and had posted requests for things to do in groups, and a lot of good comments about what they can do, whether it be the library, ag society, a cultural association, dance, arts. People were giving ideas of how you can get connected and how you can become part of the community, the Legion breakfasts and dinners as well. So I thought that was very positive. And then families looking for childcare, and some very good comments about the new Vegreville Kids Daycare too. So I was very happy to see that, and a lot of times we get a lot of negativity no matter what is going on online, so that was very nice, people helping out and welcoming some new members to the community. And that's what I have.
Okay, thank you. Okay, well, I've heard a lot of different things as well, and one thing that yesterday and maybe even this morning I heard is regarding the new rec facilities process, or the releasing of our needs. When it came to the online survey, that it was some people are having a hard time getting on the survey itself. So, but I think that's been addressed.
Yes, the link, when setting it all up, the link broke. And so now communications has gone through, and everything should be working properly now.
Okay, good. Well, I encourage everybody to go on there, take a look at on that whole study that was done, and there will be some more to come regarding what our facilities that we currently have could look like. But yeah, getting involved in the survey is a big thing. This is how we collect data about what our residents feel that our needs are. So, okay. So moving on, we're going to go Director Saskew for some highlights.
Thank you, Your Worship. Oh my, just gonna inch this closer. Sorry about that. I have a few highlights for you all tonight. Synergy CPAs were in the office last Wednesday for the interim audit. Things went well, and they were able to complete their work in one day instead of the 2 scheduled days they had in our calendars. So that was the interim. Year end is still to come. It is scheduled in March, but they have asked if they could come sooner if we are ready sooner. So it may be the 2nd or 3rd week of February, which would likely be 3rd week of February right now. But I will keep you all posted as we go through that process. Also, Corporate Services and IP&D have been working on the multiple dwelling project. We have made good progress and are finalizing our listing of additional units on each water meter, and will begin the notification process shortly. Once all of this is finalized, we plan to give these ratepayers a 90-day written notice period, and at which point the next utility bill after that will have the additional fees, as in the 2026 amended fees and charges bylaw. As of current, our listing has around 380 additional units to be billed per month, which would be approximate revenue of $20,000 monthly. So it is significant. We are taking our due diligence and time with this project to make sure everything is accurate and it is done as fairly as possible. We have also continued to take part in discussions and demonstrations related to our new ERP solution due to our current system coming end of life. This is going to be, I'm a broken record with this one, but it is a very lengthy process and it's also important. Some of the solutions that have been presented to us, if we say yes today, they won't start installing until March of 2027. So it's a lengthy install process, and if we want it up and running before the start of 2028, we will need to make decisions fairly quickly. So that is still top of our to-do list, and it is a continuing process. And one other thing for everyone is we've renewed our copier leases for March of 2026. Due to the changing nature of the copying climate and some shopping around on our part, we were able to secure new machines that are equivalent to what we currently have with the same company and a leased cost savings of $12,000 annually. So a little good news story for us in the copying department, and that is all I've got.
So do you think that savings has anything to do with the less wear that we're actually putting on our machines now?
I believe so. Like our lease is, there's two parts to the payment on all our copiers. So one is a general lease cost, and then second is based on number of pages printed. And that is my thought, is that because our machines are printing less, they are better, so to say, like used sales. So they're able to get more on trade for them. So it's nice to see that we won't have to downsize our fleet quite yet. We did look into multiple options using different machines, using a lower level machine, and our cost versus benefit analysis, it wasn't that much cheaper to do that. And I think what we're gonna push is eliminating our desktop printers and doing secure printing where you enter in a code. So you print to the machine. I could print 7 different things at 7 different times. As long as I go by the end of the day, type in my code, I can print what I want out of it. And so it's offering secure printing as you would have at your desktop, but you actually just have to go up and get it. So by doing that, the cost of those desktop printers that we have right now is going up and up because toner costs are very extensive on that. Like it costs, I think, 8 times as much to print one piece of paper to my desktop printer as it does to the Xerox. So that is our kind of long-term goal, but right now we're still like in the learning process and just looking to have the most cost efficient, but also efficient for our staff as well. So.
Well, when do you think you might be able to implement something like this by getting rid of a lot of our desktop copiers?
In March. So we're going to get these new ones. We're going to set up the new coding, and we are instructing to not reorder toners. So a lot of us have the same toner for our desktop, and we'll just start eliminating the printers that aren't working as well or needing to be replaced. And with the secure printing that's getting implemented in March, like that's going to happen soon. And there's other departments that are already doing that. So IP&D downstairs here, they only have the one Xerox printer. They don't have the desktop ones for themselves anymore. So other departments are doing it. With ours, it's a little bit harder because we have payroll, we have checks, so for example, our check run, Jaskaran, having to send an email to everyone, don't print on the Xerox, and then having to put the special check paper in and then print it out. Like that's not ideal for him, but now that he has the secure print, he can send the check printing to the printer, go there, type in his code, put his checks in, and print them out. So it's offering us a solution where that could become a possibility where we don't need desktop.
Yeah, and I guess on our utility bills day and stuff too,
Yes.
that does make sense, but yeah, those toners and stuff are not cheap. Those
Yeah.
cartridges.
And that, like the $12,000 annually is just the cost of the leasing savings. So by eliminating that other toner, like we can also save maybe another $1,000 annually on toners. So just the goals for our department, and just also wherever we can find cost savings. We are going paperless where we can, but at this point in time, we still need to print utility bills every month. We still need to print tax bills once a year. Those are things that are not going away for the foreseeable future, and likely not until we have this new ERP solution where we can make it easier for other people to use other forms of information.
Okay, any questions for Director Saskew? So the decisions that are being made on the in your first topic, and to have this implemented for 2028?
Yeah, like fully, like we need to be starting the implementation either this summer or early next year, otherwise it won't be ready like to use by 2028.
So there's no other decisions that need to be made by council? Everything is in place now?
Not yet. So once we receive, we have 2 more demos to look at. And once we evaluate it, on our side of things, we are going to present to council the options that we have. And because even right now, 2 of our top contenders, there's a difference in price, but then the level of service is different. So that is very much a council decision as well as an administrative decision. And I think that's something that needs to be made as a group project. Maybe a council workshop will be needed for that one.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect you just to show it to council and then expect us to help with the decision. We're gonna need some time and some information.
Yes, yeah, like a cost benefit and just understanding what the different options bring. So we will do an extensive report and like you said, likely a council workshop to discuss all the different options and all the different.
Well, luckily, we're all IT people here, so it's gonna work out good. Okay, thank you very much. Is there any other questions? Okay, Director Lefebvre.
Thank you, Your Worship. Yes, we did talk about snow removal, and as we talked, the Highway 16A has now been cleaned up and done. We have got the entire town looked after, and we're able to pick up a couple extra arteries that have been done more than once. So we're now, of course, looking at the forecast, knowing that with the +5 and +6 comings, that the steamers are getting worked on so we can start opening up the catch basins for when the melt comes. So never seems to change. You're going from one extreme to the next with this weather. A reminder to all of our business community that the business licenses renewals are out now. They're out in January. You have until the end of February to pay them. We've collected about 50% of our business license are now paid. But just a reminder that you can pay it online through our easy pay systems, or you can come into the office and do it that way. We have about 350 total business licenses. Out of that, there's about 90 that are home occupations in our community. And then, of course, we have 82 non-resident business license, 9 seasonal, and 3 seasonal resident business. So we do have a good number of businesses in our community at about 350. So.
Okay, any questions for Director Lefebvre? Looks like you're good. Okay, CAO Ling.
All right, thank you, Your Worship. Just a little bit more information for you regarding the regional recreation study. So the Cocorico survey for the regional recreation What's Next is now opened. It opened on Sunday. The survey will run for 6 weeks. So our ask is that everybody find it and please put your input in. The OCL, the Orange Crow Leadership Regional Recreation Feasibility Study, is also available on our website as well. And if you find the survey and take a look at it, it is a big read. I think there's almost like 200 pages there, but there's a lot of information. And the links to the survey are on there as well. And the other thing that I've been working on lately is our ATCO gas franchise fee is expiring this year. So I've been met with ATCO gas reps to discuss the process and timelines that we need to have that in place. So council will be seeing that in the near future.
But our recommendation to council regarding there was no raising of the franchise fees to the gas.
This is our actual franchise agreement.
Oh.
So this is the agreement that that we have with ATCO.
So maybe we should entertain another company coming in with gas then, right now.
Well, you could, yes.
Yeah, well, at one time when the actual company used to pay the franchise fees, then you would have an opportunity to negotiate, but they just charge it to the residents of Vegreville now. It's not like it used to be. It's kind of weird the way they do it now. But we're an ATCO town and we appreciate ATCO being in there. The big presence they have in our community, so. And we appreciate that Councillor Lemko gets free power for, now that he's retired from ATCO. And gas, sorry. And of course, folks, I am joking about that. That is not true. You don't listen to Don Fossack. Okay, is there any questions for CA Yoling? Okay, so let's go through a couple upcoming events. I think that we may be canceling February the 9th council meeting. I don't think we have enough to have a meeting, and we're going to be at least 3 members down, so I think that's where we're going to be. Family Day, we're closed on February the 16th.
Yes, we are closed. That morning, well, that day, but that morning, we will all be at the social center serving up breakfast.
Oh, so I was gonna read the family pancake breakfast, but you've already,
Well, you opened the door, you allowed for it.
yes,
so.
I know. So yes, we're, hopefully, everybody can show up. This is, I think, the first one I ever missed. I'm not gonna be here, so I don't know who's gonna have all the pancake dust on their face. But if we can get Director LaFave back out, he's a good man on the pancake side, so. Yeah. All I say is don't turn the grill on hot. When whoever gets there lighted, don't turn them up, because it'll take forever to get them back down. Okay, is there any other business of council? Seeing none, I see that we have one closed session item. So I would take a motion to go into closed session. Okay, Councilor Broadjack makes the motion. All those in favor? Carried. Probably take a 5-minute bio break, and then we'll start.